Hello, my name is Kimberly. I have some jokes about how you know you're hanging out with the wrong people in your life. Usually there's some telltale signs, and generally it's not fun to learn that you're hanging out with the wrong people. But sometimes these people can be your roommates, or you're very close who you think is like maybe your best girlfriend. And then you find out, then you just find out. So basically, I was having a good night. I went out to the bar, and I have this favorite spot in Upper West Side, and it's on 101st and Broadway. It's a great little dive bar. I love it there. I went there to like cheer up and like be in a little bit of a chipper mood, and I feel like recently I've been like going through some bullshit. So I just like was like, you know what? Let me go like clear my head and like have a good time and everything like that. And I come back and I even like find the right radio station. I'm smoking a little cigarette. I'm sneaking one in, and I'm even doing a little happy dance. And I'm feeling good. I'm feeling like I have control over my life and my emotions and circumstances and environments, etc. And it's just like it's also the set is about to like knowing when people aren't in their right minds. Like sometimes like there's just certain behavior that you see that you're like that's a little crack addict-y. Like, you know, like you see it and you're like that's a little oddball. Like, oh, that's like someone's got a couple loose screws. You know, like I can't talk. Like I'm mostly delusional like 23 hours out of the day, and so I can't talk. I'm just saying it's a good time in life when you realize that you could probably see spending your time around better people. But like I said, I passed out around like I think 4 a.m. Coming back from the bar, and I get woken up to like a bunch of like boisterous, like kind of honestly like raucous behavior. Like it sounds like really noisy, and I look over and I'm like, Kwame, because that'd be my roommate. That'd be the only person making that much noise. But then again, we've had like several home invasions. So at this point, I'm like usually not comfortable sleeping, like soundly without like a frying pan next to me or some sort of weapon because of how many home invasions we've had. It's unfortunate, but it's a matter of truth. So I shoot out of bed, a bunch of cortisol and adrenaline running through my body, and I'm like, what? And he's like, and instead of responding, this is kind of what made me think that he's like not quite in his right mind, but like, and like God bless him, like he's a very like his work ethic is great. He's a really hard worker, but the guy's just got some weird, odd habits, a little bit. And so instead of responding or saying anything, he just kind of like looks like a Jack in the Box, like coming out of the fucking like spring, but he like pops into the doorway, and I'm like, and it's dark, so I'm like, oh, okay. I'm just trying to go back to sleep a little bit. And he like kind of like turns the light on, and I'm like, ugh, and I pull the sheet over my eyes, and I'm like, I'm trying to sleep. You know, I don't think I said that. I just went and like pulled the blanket over my eyes, and he goes, sorry, and mind you, he said like 3 weeks ago that he was gonna come home and shower and do like the fucking wash up and like fucking do whatever he needs to do at home, because like I said, he's an extremely hard worker, so he's always working. But like he said 3 weeks ago he was gonna do this, so actually I had like laid out like a towel and like a washcloth and like some like new fucking body wash and shit, and like I even laid out some clothes, and I was like, here's like for summer and stuff that's like a little bit cooler, like the kind of shirts that like are dry wick and they like evaporate the sweat. And I like expected that to be like 3 weeks ago, but like he chooses to come home when I'm in a good mood, when I'm passed out and I just found the right radio station, and like fucking comes out of the doorway like a Jack in the Box, doesn't say anything, and I'm like, okay, whatever, and then turns the light on, says sorry, and I'm like, okay, I guess, yeah, like whatever, like just go back to sleep. And then he goes out of the room, and like I think that's it. I think that's like the interaction, because why else would he just turn the light on, or what, I don't know. And then he's like, I don't know, so I yelled out, have a good day, and he's like, and he sounds like a little bit annoyed, honestly. He sounds perturbed, like in his spirit or something, I'm not sure, like, because that's a fairly nice thing to say to somebody, and then for somebody to be annoyed, I don't know, maybe not everyone's a morning person, because I think he like came home at like 6 a.m. or something, like 4 a.m., 6 a.m., like when I'm sleeping, and he's like, I have to shower, etc. I was like, okay, whatever, and I was like, so I started to relax. I think that he's gonna take a shower. I take the blanket off my eyes because I like to breathe and have oxygen, and then he comes back in the room and doesn't say anything, but just stands in the doorway like an extra wide, large black male version of Bloody Mary, and just standing there like the Grudge, the woman in that like 2002 like kind of shitty suspense horror movie with like the hair, but minus the hair, but he's just that same like demeanor, and like these are the things that people do that just make me realize that they're not, I don't think they're quite in the right mind. Like, why not just come home at like 2 p.m. maybe with a box of Chinese food and say hello, or none of that, and just come home at a regular hour when I'm not sleeping. Did I mention that, by the way? And so I was like, oh my god, I don't know, dude, can you just give me a break? Because I already gambled tonight leaving the house at 11 p.m. living in the Bronx in booty shorts and high heels. These are sizably tall too. They put another 3 inches onto me. So I actually did get followed at 2 a.m. Coming back from the bar, and I was like, whatever. Like I know what I'm getting myself into. None of that shit is. It barely leaves a dent anymore. But it did affect, I think, my cortisol and adrenaline levels. And so with this already happening, I'm like, dude, can you just? I already gambled tonight, and this is whatever is happening, like standing in the doorway but not saying anything, but then also not turning on the light, and me just hearing you stand there with no movement, like it's giving me, it's adding to the anxiety. And I already had to deal with enough with the booty shorts and the high heels coming back from Manhattan at 3 a.m. Can you, I already thought I did the safety part, safety roll call of my 20-something adventurous female life, you know what I'm saying? And so I was like, oh my God, I'm not gonna say anything, and then he walks out, and I hear that happening, and then I kind of relax a bit. I start to go back to sleep. I try to, and this is the joys of living with other people, right? It's these are the pure joys, and I start to like fucking go back to sleep a little bit, and then I hear him come back in, and he turns on the light again. And I'm like, dude, can you, like, I didn't say any of this, like, I was just like, can you not be such a fucking weirdo, such a fucking crack addict, thief in the night, fucking weirdo right now? Can you just try and be, like, normal? Like, is the light on? Is the light off? Can you, can you just not be such a fucking crack addict, such fucking psycho, fucking crack addicts, fucking, because these are behaviors of like a fucking like thief in the night role that we're doing. I don't understand, like, are you like crack addict like behavior? Like, this is like, can you clearly, like, can you just not, like, lights on or lights off, buddy? Like, you're in the shower or you're not? Like, I don't. And so I'm not gonna let this get to me, because I'm honestly like halfway passed out, and I don't know, I think that there's like a little bit of like some sort of attention that he wants, and so I'm just like aware that these are like toddler tactics, and I'm just like not gonna let it push my buttons. And then I think at one point I do begin to hear like the door, so I start to like, I'm like, the door is broken in the bedroom, and it goes open and then it closes, and it goes open and then it closes, and I'm like, and it's broken, so it makes a really loud noise when it's being opened and closed, which is why I usually don't ever touch that door. And then at this point, I'm like, can you just be normal? Can you just not be a psycho fucking crack addict, such a fucking thief in the night, crack addict weirdo, fucking, can you just please not be such a crack addict, fucking thief in the night, such a fucking psycho, such a fucking weirdo? Can you come home and shower, and then just fucking, can you not? Can you just like the lights on, or can you just not be such a fucking crack addict, such a fucking weirdo, like thief in the night, fucking psycho fucking weirdo right now? Like, I've already seen The Grudge. That was back in 2002. That was enough. And I don't need you standing in the doorway without the light on, just breathing. I think these are fair arguments. I don't know. I'm honestly like wondering if I could put it on a contract, like, if you're gonna be in this apartment, please don't be such a fucking crack addict, such a fucking weirdo, psycho, fucking thief of the night, fucking weirdo, fucking crack addict, please. And that might work. We'll have to see how that goes. I'll let you know the progress that's made. But sometimes it's like things like this happen, and you start to wonder if you're around the right people in your life. So the other story I have is when you're hanging out with the wrong people is when you have pieces of metal in your house and they just go missing. They just go missing after her friend comes over to visit. That's the other story I have to share with you. A friend I have, she does legitimate, she's a legitimate, I think in my personal opinion, a respectable sex worker. I think people have ways of surviving in the city, and there's nothing, you know what I'm saying? It's like I respect it, and she does, tend to take, I think, pieces of metal when I'm not looking, but there is this extra security part of the door that opens, and that's what I use for extra security on the front door. And after she hung out once, I noticed that those were gone, and we just can't leave pieces of scrap metal out with crack addicts around, man. And that's also part of the gig. I think is when you're a sex worker, I think you get addicted to drugs, and you start to lose your mind, and take belongings from your friends without asking. And that is kind of what was like the last, I think, straw for me. With this is the last bit of the story that I'll share with you on how you're hanging out with the wrong people, or like that saying, you become the most like the 5 people you spend time with. And so it's a set to be aware on that, and legitimate anecdotes from my life that actually draw that analogy and illustration to me, like, very vividly. And this last part was this, I think this has to be the last straw for anybody, when a friend kind of like just takes advantage of kindness. But she had asked, can I take your microphone and cell phone, and I'll be back in 2 hours with it. And we were gonna go and sing and busk together, and the plan was to make money, and that was my understanding, that she'd be back in 2 hours with the cell phone. And I knew that is also metal, and I also knew that would be a way for her to validate her calendar and be able to like actually schedule dates and actually do okay and have a cell phone outside, because she also doesn't have a home. So I thought, like, she needs a phone, you know what I'm saying? But I also kind of like expected it back in 2 hours. But at the same time, if you ever just give things to crack addicts, you gotta know that's the loan that you're not gonna receive any interest back on. It's a one-sided contract, a unilateral contract where it's a charity donation. If you're gonna give metal or any important piece of your belongings to a crack addict, and know that it won't come back into your hands. And so I gave her my phone, and she's like, I'll be back in 2 hours. And there's a part of me that knew when I gave that away that would be the last time I ever saw that phone, and that was the case. I'm filming on my laptop. So there's literally no bad blood. I just think it's funny when you realize you're hanging out with the wrong people. And maybe I should get less crack addict friends in my life and see how that goes for me. That's about all I have for you tonight. And sometimes you just gotta stand up for yourself. You know what I'm saying? But you know what? There's also this other bit that I have. I literally actually have like a lot of people that I look up to and admire. But like I said earlier, I think I'm like delusional like 23 hours out of the day. And anyway, I have this this idea in my mind that I think I'm in a relationship, but I'm not quite sure. It's like if a guy that you really like on a podcast says that he has a girlfriend, like, and you are delusional enough to believe that he's referring to you, that's when you know, I think you're not the person to hang out with. That's when you know that you've lost your marbles. Is this a personal situation? I don't know. Maybe. But it's like when people, I don't know if that's the kind of person that I would want to spend time with either too, because what if he's calling, and I like literally, like what if he's calling dibs on a girl before they even had a meeting of the minds? What is that? Is that null and void the contract of a social contract without a meeting of the minds? Does it really exist if it's not really fabricated into a personal meeting yet? Are they boyfriend and girlfriend? Who knows? I think that I perhaps even fall in love on the subway six or seven times a day anyway. So at this point, I feel like I'm either hanging out with the wrong people, or as Taylor Swift says in her song, it's me, hi, I'm the problem, it's me. So at that point in my life, I did hear that song this morning, and I was like, I think I'm the problem, because I might be creating all of my own issues just by being a flawed individual. And I don't know, bro. Can you call dibs on a girl before you even met her? Isn't that like putting the cart in front of the horse? Wait a minute. Maybe I would like that kind of a guy anyway, but I don't know, bro. Maybe bro should just stop while they're ahead. It's all very confusing sometimes when we get emotions as humans, and friends and people in your life that are not good for you, they will eventually reveal that they are not right for you. Like if you leave scrap metal hanging out, you want to believe that you're hanging out with the right people, and then that's gonna be there when you come back to the living room. I think as an almost 30-year-old, what I can tell you, what I've learned in life, is the more the more you spend time with crack addicts, the less metal you have in life. Thank you so much. My name is Kimberly Ponce.